Why do you think it is that certification is so important? And in fact, let me give you a couple of options here. Let's say you're going on holiday or you're traveling for business. It doesn't matter. But the next time you travel in an aeroplane, which one of these two people would you prefer to be flying your aircraft? Would you prefer person A, or would you prefer person B to be flying your aircraft? Okay. So why am I asking this ridiculously stupid question? Well, because you know what? Looks can be deceiving, right? Just because you're dressed for the role doesn't necessarily mean you are professionally qualified for that role. So, for example, person A almost certainly is a male model, right? It's just a photograph of somebody dressed up as a pilot. Maybe person B is a pilot who is on holiday at the moment, but when they're not on holiday, they're qualified and trained and certified to fly airplanes, which I think I would probably prefer, however good looking the male model might be, to a male model when it comes to flying the aircraft. And of course, it's the same thing in every profession. If I was going to employ somebody to service my car, I want a certified service engineer for the type of car I've got. If I was going to employ somebody to do my end of year accounts, I want a certified accountant. So as a customer of your company, I would quite like a certified customer success manager to help me attain success from the products that I've purchased. Doesn't seem unreasonable. Because customer success management is fairly new on the scene, there aren't so many qualifications around, but they have now started to emerge. And of course, ours is one of the first, and I would say is the best, the most comprehensive one that there is available. So certification in every industry, in every profession. You're not going to get a job as an accountant or an airline pilot unless you've got the right certification. And that's going to happen in our profession as we mature. We're ahead of the game with providing it, but actually only just. And now I am talking to hiring managers and recruiters. I am talking to customer success leaders, and they are asking for it, and they are understanding the value of it when they are looking at who to recruit, for example. So our program, the Certified CSM program, this has 4 levels of certification. You get a certificate at each level, you get a badge at each level, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. The value to the company, the person who employs the CCSMP, is that it provides a way of benchmarking everybody so that there is a minimum standard. Everybody meets that standard. So we know, we can be confident that everybody meets this minimum requirement. It adds value to our proposal to our customer, because we can say to the customers, when you buy our product, you don't just get any old help, you get proper help from properly trained, qualified and certified people. And that is externally certified by a third-party certification program, an industry certification. It even could add a unique sales proposition, a USP to the proposal, because no one else is offering that. So you can get more sales from doing it. And it provides the basis for being externally ratified for approval with things like the BSI or OSI standards. So you've got to have a proven process of doing things. You've got to do it the right way, or you don't get the kite mark to say, yes, your company meets these minimum standards. And again, particularly for organizations who sell, to example, to the government, they might have to have those standards in place. So it helps them for those reasons. And of course, it helps them to measure and evaluate and compare between the CSMs and with the overall function. Similar concept for the team leader, the person who manages the customer success team. Can standardize the approach and the methodology so that everybody's doing it the same way, which simplifies the training and the requirements for things like coaching and mentoring. Makes it much easier to bring new recruits on board and to add them to the team and get them trained up, because this is how we do it around here. One set of resources, one set of requirements, one set of training, etc. And again, we can measure and report on individuals now. Well, what about ourselves as CSMs? What about you? What do you get out of this? Well, it proves to yourself. I mean, you might be confident already that you know customer success management, but maybe you don't know all of it. And I would suggest, well, none of us do, right? I mean, I'm not saying I know all of it, but I tell you what, as we go through different roles as customer success managers in different companies, those different roles will tend to have more of a focus or an emphasis on certain parts of customer success and less or even no emphasis on other parts. So what about those other parts? How are you going to plug those gaps? Well, if you take a broad certification, it proves your competence across all of customer success management best practice. So it brings you up in those areas and proves to yourself that you've reached the level 1, 2, 3, or 4 that you think you have. And of course, it provides evidence to the outside world so that if you do decide you want to move to the next level up and progress your career either internally or maybe to go out and find a job at another company, well, then you've got the evidence to back up what you're saying in terms of your abilities, your expertise. And it's an objective third-party certification, not just you saying it, or you having a reference from a friend or a friendly colleague.